Whenever I get an invite to any function that states semi-formal, I get the twitches, the nervous twitches. Since I'm not that great historically at gauging the semi or the formal part of the invitation. I remember once rocking up at an end-year party, semi-formal, and having half of the people dressed the semi part and the other half the formal part, and having to figure out where do I sit and how do I figure this out. Felt really strange and was frustrated most of that evening. Now, life is not a dress-up party, but all of us, in some shape, way, or form, conform to certain things. Whether we do this out of relationship, whether we do this with the things we own or buy, brands that we feel represent us, we conform to certain things in our lives. Now, in the grand scheme of things in our spiritual lives, the Bible is clear on its stance when it comes to us conforming to the world around us. In Romans 12 verse 2, it starts off with the writer stating, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world." Very clear. Goes on to say that we should actually be transformed by the renewing of our mind, and that will help us understand God's will for our lives. But I want to focus on that first part, that explicit, almost a command saying, do not conform to the patterns of this world. Now, we wouldn't have said that if that was a thing for us Christians. But there are reasons why we conform. Chief amongst which is fears. FOMO, the fear of missing out. If everybody is doing something or behaving a certain way, we are fearful that we would be the only ones not partaking in that. On the opposite side, if we are the only ones doing something and the rest is not participating, it feels awkward. It's fear of being the only one doing something. And these fears interplay into our lives and channel us into a space where we become almost entangled into the pattern of the world around us. But this is not God's will for our lives. His will for our lives is that when people look at this pattern of the world around them, that they would see a constellation of His kingdom within the pattern, and that we would not be absorbed into it and become faceless and voiceless in this world. So today, maybe in the time of silence you may have, you can maybe talk to God about the fears you have and the spaces in your life where you feel you are conforming and therefore taking a big bite out of the blessing that you're supposed to be for the world. And ask God that He should lead you in how you can stand out. I believe when we oppose these fears that entangle us into the shapes and the patterns of the world, that the world would be a place where people would see more clearly the kingdom of God manifest throughout every facet of life.